Darragh, first and foremost, obviously the manager appointment, obviously Grant McCann's been in place now for a month or so. How's the relationship going? You really enjoying working with him?
Apologies first of all, because I'm jet lagged. I haven't slept in 48 hours, so I'm a bit grouchy and a bit grumpy. But yeah, good, very good. Really enjoyed working with Grant so far. I said it the other day. You got the special one, you got the chosen one, now you got the groomed one. That's what I said to Grant. So he's been brilliant. He's worked really hard the last few weeks. In fairness to him, even when I was away in the Bahamas, he was on the phone every day, speaking to players, and obviously the signings we've made, he's played a key part in it with me and Barry. They wouldn't have come without Grant speaking himself to them as well. And you know, footballers love speaking to ex-footballers, you know, who've had pedigree and, you know, a little bit of class about them. And the players we've signed know all about Grant McCann, and I'm very happy that we've been able to bring those players in for him.
Yeah. Was it key to try and get some of the business done, if not all of the business done, as early as you could?
It's always one of those balancing acts, because what you don't end up with is a squad of 30, and we've been guilty of that the last 2 years, that we've had too big a squad. And the one thing the gaffer said to me, and I agree with him, is he wants 23, 24. He wants 2 for every position strength. You know, whether it's a diamond, a 4-4-2, whatever formation he's going to play. If it's 4 midfielders, he wants 8 competing for 4 places. Same with defenders, same with strikers. And I fully concur and back that up, because we had too many people last year. And I know people would be thinking, well, here you go again, you're filling up the midfield. But if you look at what he's brought out here and what he's left behind, he's very cutthroat about what he wants to do with the squad. But at the same time, he's been very honest with the lads who he doesn't see having a future with the club, that they have to go and play, and they have to go, you know, fulfill their career elsewhere and move on. So we're very calculated with some of the moves we made. Taff was a great signing. Needless to say, a lot of clubs were after him, and people were getting nervous about it and everything else. And we stuck to our guns. Grant and me worked really hard on that one on the phone the day he was going to be ended up going to Blackburn, and we got him in. And the lad, in fairness to him, just wants to play football. You know, it was never about the lad, agents get involved and everything else. The lad in the end made the decision to come to Peterborough. And he's a left-sided centre-half, he's a mammoth, he's a colossus. I've just stood next to him in there, he's 2 inches taller than me, and I'm a pretty tall guy. So, sorry, like I said to him, I'm away with the fairies because of jet lag, you know, I'm very tired, running on lack of oxygen. Obviously, Hayden, brilliant. Right back, great competition for Smudge. We haven't had that. Smudge, God bless him, last year played so many times when he was injured and took injections and everything else, because we really didn't have a backup for him, and he took one for the team. That's what's great about Michael Smith. He's that kind of player. He's not like other players we've had in the past and other full-back positions. If they had a broken toenail, they wouldn't play. Michael would play with a broken ankle. And I was really disappointed for him that he didn't go to the Euros, and I know he was gutted, but his time will come now with the World Cup qualifiers. So Hayden was a great acquisition to basically compete with Michael for that full-back position. We feel with Ricardo, Jack, Taff and Bozzy, we've got great centre-halves there. We knew at the end of the season, look, we were crap defensively last year, no doubt about it. We've been crap in previous years winning promotion defensively, but when I say crap, we were probably 11th, 12th in the league defensive-wise. Last year, I think we were second last. It was that bad. So, yes, we were the entertainers and we scored loads of goals, which is what we love and it's the way we play, but defensively you do need some solidity, and you do need to get clean sheets against the better teams, so to speak, and when you come up against them, and we let ourselves down against those teams. So we feel with the acquisition, even the boy from Newport, again, massive man mountain, but he's a left back, he can play left-sided centre-back. We feel now strength and depth, the back line, very strong. Now, if anyone goes from that back line or we sell somebody, we will replace them as well. We will have 8 strong defenders, full-backs the way we like them to get forward and bomb on the way the gaffer likes it. Strong centre-halves, no nonsense, good passes of the ball. We want some clean sheets this year, so that's really important for us as well. We have 1 position left to fill, and that's left back. We already have 1 left back, we want 2. Everyone knows what we're trying to do there. I can't tell anyone any update on that. There's nothing solid to talk about. There's other clubs in. We're trying our best, we're working hard, so if not, we move on. We've got 3 other targets. The gaffer's just given me the 3 targets that we've all talked about. We move on to them.
You mentioned about being ruthless, and obviously Erhan Oztumer obviously left, and Grant explained perfectly the situation in regards to that, and you moved quickly to replace as well.
Yeah, Erhan's a lovely guy, his family are lovely, and we wish them well. His dad emailed me the other day. It didn't work out. We can go on about the contracts and the option and what he was offered less and everything else. Look, we offered Erhan what we felt was a good deal. He didn't play enough for us last year, so he didn't warrant the massive pay rise that was in the option on the contract. So we wanted to see him do it over a season, not just in patches, and Grant felt he could do that this year. So there was disappointment there that we couldn't come to an agreement. So we wish him well at Walsall. He's a lovely guy, and the fans will really like him there. What was the rest of that question?
And bringing the two lads in, obviously,
Yes.
Inman and of course...
Well, obviously, Guion I actually tried to buy 3 years ago in a double deal. I was dealing with the owner of Crawley at the time. I tried to buy the centre half that ended up going to MK Dons and Guion. So it was a double whammy, and I offered a lot more money for Guion back then. But so happens, obviously, we've kept an eye on him. We got John Taylor at the time then instead, and we kept an eye on him. And the opportunity came up last week. I've been chasing Guion for quite a while. We heard he was going to have a medical at another club, and myself and the gaffer spoke, rang Barry. I said, listen, check in with Guion's agent. Would he prefer to come to us? When he found out, he jumped at it. He rang Crawley himself and said, I'm not going anywhere else when I get to Peterborough. And the deal was probably done in 3 hours. That's how enthusiastic Guion was about coming. So we feel he is our type of player. He'll excite fans. He's young. He'll be inconsistent a little bit, but he will have flair. He'll be dynamic in the way we play. He'll score goals. He'll create goals. He'll be a fan's favourite. Brad, one of those tougher ones. We were trying to sign him and obviously George Moncur during the summer, obviously before the summer started. We knew Brad was out of contract at Crewe. He scored 10-11 goals last year in a team relegated. Marcus knows him very well, obviously from the Newcastle days. He's a talented young boy. We haven't seen nobody's seen his best football yet. We feel he'll excel in our team, and he'll give great strength in that midfield. Again, there'll be competition for places. So we feel really, really happy with those two recruits in midfield. We feel now midfield's done. Now we have to get people out. There are players that we need to move on, so we can bring it down to that core eight players that we need in there competing for places. But it's a midfield. It's very exciting, and I'd hate to have to pick that midfield.
And just finally on the transfer front, I think you said previously, obviously, with the Connor sale, it had to be done at the time, but you'd like to get things done in terms of players departing in the summer or at the end of the season.
It was a disappointment what we had to do in January, and I'd like to get all our business done by the end of this window. I'd like us to be settled. I'd like us to be flying. I'd like our gates to be up. I'd like us to have no issues, so that we can actually go in January to any player who a bid comes in for sell. Look, can we wait till the summer? There's 5 more months, like what we did with Craig McHale-Smith a few years ago. We couldn't do that this January, and Connor's ended up playing in the Euros, and that was really good to help play a part in that. So we know the players that we want to move on. We know the players, the assets that are. Everyone's in demand. They always are. And I've turned down bids already, and that's no nonsense. We've turned down bids for a couple of players, and there will be a couple of players, would you say, not marquee players like the ones I've mentioned before, but a couple of players that will go for substantial money that will balance the books for the rest of the season, including the business we've done already. Hopefully, my whole MO is to get the fans back to the ABAC Stadium and to get our gates back up. I've seen Cambridge United nearly have the same average gate as us, didn't sit well with me, so I want to get the crowds back in. That will create revenue, more money, means we won't have to sell players, and we can do business the right way. And that starts with backing the manager. So all I've done so far is back the manager. So more to come.